And I think it's live now. Welcome everyone to Growth Talk, episode 9. We're here with Ikraam. Ikraam, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for coming on. It's been a long wait. Actually, I've been meaning to have you on the show for a long time now, so I'm glad we finally got it going.
I'm a big fan of the show, so thank you for inviting me.
Happy to hear that. I'm looking at these like little video configurations here, and oh, what is this one? Like they just see me the whole time and they're just talking in the background.
You can still hear my voice, right? That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. That would be super weird. Okay. Ooh.
Imagine if there's a dead
to the side.
I've seen somebody do an interview, but you could do like an insert where there's like a frame inside the actual like YouTube channel. So like they had their face like super big, and then their guest was like an eighth of the freaking screen, and they were in a little weird gold frame, and I was just like, what is
that? So what do you think? Do you think we should do this one, which to me feels like, or this one?
This is good. Mm-hmm.
You like this? I think this one's better, even though we don't see as much. Like this one feels like like it's less intense somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, it's Growth Talk, guys. So we have a whole 2 people here. Great, thank you, 2 people that have come. It's good to see you here.
Thank you, and, 2 people.
And yeah, so let's start off with your type. So everyone, Ikraam is, well, you can see her type in the window here, but she is a ESFP jumper. So that means she's not SEFI, but SETE. So what does an SETE person look like to you? Or like, what are some characteristics of your type do you generally see?
Yeah, so it's interesting because it's like, I would never have typed myself as TE because I feel like the image I have of a TE person is like this hella responsible person. And I guess because I'm SE, I feel like an responsible person, which is like, I'll have the TE on my mind all the time. I'm like, oh, I should probably be doing this, but I'll fuck it all off for just to like skip around because of SE. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I relate to being like a skib ESFP more than anything. The TE bit is just more like emotional oppression than like eye saver. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I think one thing you said one time, well, I don't know if you said this about yourself or about your type in general, but there's like the SCTs have like this grit to them, right? Like you guys like you don't give up, I feel like, or you guys go balls to the wall when it comes to stuff. Like, do you relate to that at all, or do you feel like that's something that you see in this type as well?
Oh yeah, I think I relate to that because of SE first, and then also like Sleep Last. I think it's just like throwing all of your energy into the thing that's happening right now. So it's like I don't know, like in the beginning of quarantine, I think you might remember Dave, when I first started cycle classes and stuff, because I'm like,
oh yeah, you're telling about those. Those were insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I want to start cycle. I'm gonna just I just want to like entertain myself during quarantine, right? And then I made this ridiculous goal of like going every single day. It's just like I don't know. There is like an obsessive. I think a lot of that is Sleep Last, but I also think it's SE because it's just like I feel like there's like a need to be exhausted with SE or something, like being like overwhelmed with sensory. So yeah, I can see us being balls to the wall in that way. Do everything big.
There was also, I think you made this comment, I want to say, but it was like about another SET guy, like a David Goggins time. It's like, you got to wake up at 3 a.m. and if you're really badass, you wake up at 2 a.m. You get up, you lift weights, you do it every day. And you were saying something like, that's totally an SE thing to do, is you have to do it every day or else you're not.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember making that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a demon and I thing. Because it's just like, oh yeah, it's like you have fear over it. Like this is something I like seriously relate to, and I see it a bit in David Goggins and like Jocko and stuff. But it's like the reason you have to show that you do it every single day, and you have like this panic of like missing a day or whatever is because it's like you could only count on the day. It's like this extreme like distrust of NI of like, oh, there's this pattern and like whatever. You want to have a pattern, sure, because you feel like you see yourself as this inherently like person who breaks patterns all the time. The moment that you stop doing something or you miss it, there's this like huge panic, you know? So it's like so you need to show yourself that you can do it every single day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel you. So I kind of do the same thing where most stuff where I like basically any goal I'm going after where there's a little bit I do each day, and I don't like taking a day off. Like I'd rather do less and do every day than do a lot and just do a few days. Part of that was because like I'm more likely to do it because it's less, and like yeah, I'm very like one day focused as well. So it's like, you know,
I think it's also like lack of SI in your stack as well, right? Because I've never had like Monday, Wednesday, like on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I do this thing. I'm like, every day I kind of do this, or like I have a pattern of doing this, like tying it to emotions or tying it to like something else, like not actual time. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like it is good to some degree to be able to do something every day if it's as long as you're not going crazy with it. But it also, if there is a feeling of like, if I miss one day, am I really doing it at all? Which totally makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it's almost like if I miss one day, it's like I feel like I've lost everything. Which
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Nathan, welcome to the. Oh, hey, I'm surprised to see you here, my friend. But glad to see you on. Love David Goggins is he ESFP. Yeah. So I think he's your type twin, actually. Right?
Yeah, he's my exact type twin, yeah.
And you had that funny picture with you with
is there made it
with long hair. That was like your doppelganger.
Is there a doodle, like a little picture of him with lipstick and like eyeliner?
It was who's there that did that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nathan, yeah, he's SETE. In OP terms.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I get rid of this comment?
I think you clicked it again. Yeah.
Okay. Right when he said that, it clicked. Awesome. Cool. Hey, Melanie, good to see you as well. Cool. People are joining. I think that's great. That actually makes me feel a little bit nervous. Do you ever feel like that? And you know a lot of people are watching and you're just like, oh God, okay. All of a sudden
I get like serious like observer anxiety when like people are commenting when I'm doing like a live stream, because I think I told you this before, but I'm like, I don't know, how do I listen to this person and also read the comments? Like, this is too much going on.
Oh yeah, the multitasking.
I don't know. I feel so overwhelmed with that.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. So yeah, if I missed some of your comments, I apologize. I'm gonna hopefully remind myself to go back and forth and put stuff on the screen. But with that, so what were you like when you were young? Did you feel like you also kind of fit? No, I remember you telling me stuff about you. I'm like remembering all these things about you. But I remember you were telling me when you were young, you had a different relationship to NI that you do now. Like at least I got the idea that maybe you were more comfortable using NI as a kid. Can you talk about that a little bit? What it was like?
Yeah, I've had this theory, like I've talked to a few other people about it, but I think you also said the same thing, Dave, like that you felt like you had better NI when you were young. But I think when we're children, we are just more balanced, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like we're not so deep into our savers, not so scared of our demons or whatever. We just are a little bit more holistic. So I felt a lot more FI, and I also felt super NI in a lot of ways. Like, how do I explain?
There wasn't something you did when you were a kid where you wrote down, what was it? You did some like really crazy planning for something. You wrote down what you wanted for something. And it was actually super like, it was really like intelligent and like something you wouldn't think a kid would be able to do. I wish I could remember what it was now, but it was. Yeah,
I used to do a bunch of stuff. I was like a super shy kid. Like
you were a shy kid.
Yeah. Okay. I was like annoying.
You weren't sleep last as a kid, or at least it didn't feel like it, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I guess I think I was, but it's like, I think when I was at school, like I would move around a lot, just with my family. And I think because I was always the new kid, like I learned to be very quiet at school, and then I would just like blast, like as soon as I got home, like, this is what I learned. But Yeah, I guess I like the NI stuff. I think I used to do was like to feel less anxious when I went to school and
Okay.
like and to do well in my studies and stuff because it's like when you're always moving around, like you keep on breaking up your coursework. So I was always like behind in school and stuff, and I felt
Mhm.
so much terror around that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be homeless when I grow up because I'm not good at school. So um, I did like I wrote down my goals and like exactly what I would want for like, what grades I wanted, like uh like I would do that same thing for like personality traits. That's kind of like sleep, I guess. Like I have like I want to be this type of person. Like and then I would plan my first day of school like all summer. Like I'm gonna wear these clothes, I'm gonna talk this way, this problem
Mhm.
that I have now, I'm going to solve it so I don't have when I go to school.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna love me. Like I would do like the visualization things. I like hypnotize myself. Like I
Oh,
would
that's what it
do
was. You
yeah.
hypnotized yourself. That was the thing where I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, yeah. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? I thought that was super interesting.
I've just got like super obsessed with like dream workbooks and
Mhm.
like magician type stuff, and then right next to it's like hypnotism if you go to the library, right? So
Mhm.
I think yeah, I think I might have even got like one of those little CDs, like you know how you could like get audiobooks from the library, and then I
Yeah.
would just put in my boombox. I would do stuff like that. I think that was like around when I was like 12 or 11. And like and that the thing is I think with masculine and I never doubted that it was gonna work. I'm like, this is gonna work. And then it did. But yeah,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of that when I got older.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Mhm.
feels like because I feel like for me, I was like more using my NI, and then I think it felt like as a kid, I felt like at some point I realized it wasn't working, and then I stopped using it almost. It's like it's always wrong, so I better just look at the facts and just look at what is because like my intuition apparently sucks, and I'm starting to realize that as a kid, and then I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And so it's like I don't know if it was similar for you at some point, like you stopped trusting it, or I don't know. Do you relate to that at all?
Um, I guess I guess I don't remember too much like trying to guess at things. Like I felt comfortable using my NI when I was like not my personal life and not like there was no consequences to it, you know, like I
Mm.
don't know. Like I was really good at like guessing the end of books. And like my English teacher like gave me props for that. She's like, "How did you guess the end of this short story?" Like I was like, "Oh my gosh, the teacup is poisoned." I was like she's like, "How did you guess?" I was like, "I don't know." I think part of that is because I read a lot, so I had like sensory built up. But then
Mhm.
I don't know, like the patterns were solid. But guessing in my real life, I don't think I really ever did that. I think the way I saw my NI working is that I believed I could change really like fast and like deep, like soul deep kind of way. Um,
Like change as a person, you mean? Or
yeah, change as a
okay.
person. And
Mhm.
like if you think it, you can if you believe it and you think it, you can have it, like stuff like that. Like more
Yeah.
of the NF kind of deal is how I saw it. Mhm.
Yeah, I can relate to that as well. Yeah, I've always had that sense as well where like I could just be a new person. Like when I went to university in Oklahoma for a while, and then I transferred to another one in Texas. And when I
Mhm.
transferred to this new one, I'm like, I'm going to be a new Dave. I'm going to be super extroverted. I'm going to be outgoing. I'm going to blah blah blah. I'm going to have all these friends, and I'd like tried to reinvent
Yes.
myself, and I think it actually works. Like somehow you
It
wouldn't think so.
does.
Like it seems like it's super fucked up, I guess, but like
Yeah.
actually you can totally do that if you want to, given the
You totally
scenario.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's like half like 80 or 90% of the time people are like they're not reacting to your like shell or like what you look like or whatever. It's like your vibe, whatever. Like peacocking
yeah,
enough. Like literally it's like people believe what you believe about yourself. And
that's true.
it's like even if you're freaking zany or crazy or weird or like all the things that you're insecure about, like if you like give off the vibe of like this is normal, other people react to you like this is normal. I think
That's
that's
very
something I
true.
realized. Yeah. As I
Yeah,
just have to pretend like it's fine, then everything will be.
that's true. I mean, it's like even if you're consistently in a certain way, even if it's a way that would normally bother people or whatever, eventually people just learn to accept it. That's how he is, and it's not a big
Mhm.
deal. But if you don't normally act that way, then people are like, "What the fuck? Why did you do that?" You know, because you're not supposed to be like that. You know, this isn't the
Yeah.
pattern of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we have another question from Nathan. I think, yeah, well, Kobe was SEFI, right? What was his
Yeah.
animal? Was it
Yeah. I think
CSP?
was he consume, sleep, play? And
I
he's
think so.
audio. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was audio. Yeah. That was a long typing class was a long time ago. But yeah. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we'll go with MF, SEFI, consume, sleep, play, blast.
Yeah.
Cool. So like, did you have any can you think of any tidal waves you had when you were young? Was there anything that like told you like, wow, I need to figure this FI thing out? I mean, you probably wouldn't know it as FI back then, but were there identity issues when you were growing up, or like planning issues or things like that? Did you see kind of your demons when you were young as well?
Yeah. I think with my FI, I think I can see how my FI is like the hard part of my FI is like hidden in sleep, because it's like I always felt like I had a sense of myself, you know, because of Zoom. Like, especially when I was younger, because I was consuming so much because of like I don't know, just consuming a lot.
Yeah.
Also, it lasted until later, and it's like so I knew that this is what I like. This is who I want to be because of what I like, and this is what sets me apart because I know these things that other people don't know, and this is my area of interest, and I have all these things. I guess the insecurity came from like, oh, like, is it important, you know? Because I was like really into like fashion and writing and poetry, and I had like talents there, but I was even judging myself because I'm like, I need to be better at something that makes more sense, you know?
Yeah.
I need to like something that makes more sense, you know? So there's that, but I think it was a little bit more balanced there. I think the part that was really, really demon was like the sleep part, which is like being okay with myself and like thinking, like, and then planning for the future, like just for me, like a future that I would like, you know, I would deeply find satisfying, because a lot of times when I planned for the future, it was more like I want to do something for my family, like I want to like I want to, I don't know, feeling like being demon FI, at least for me, and being demon sleeper, like it feels like I need to prove the worthiness of my life. This is why I deserve to be alive, because I've been able to do these things, and I want to point it out somewhere, you know. And
Yeah.
I think I had a real, especially when I was a kid, I had a really hard time liking myself when I was like not accomplishing things.
Okay. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like you needed to prove it.
Yeah.
And
And it needs to be mirrored back to me from like an authority figure that like I was good, you know, good job. Whereas like I think with sleeps, something I've seen in them, or like just NIFI, it's more like people can be against you, but as long as you know what you're doing, you're still okay with yourself, which was something that I really struggled with. I'm like, oh, it's still there, obviously, and I felt like I needed to do things in order for me to be emotionally okay, and it's probably good for me in like going down my life. But I was like, oh my god, on the outside, it doesn't look very good at all. Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. How's your relationship with that now? I'm assuming it's better, but I guess it's still there a little bit. Like there's still kind of that insecurity for the most part, or do you feel like you're more comfortable with like, okay, so what if it looks this way? I know what I'm doing. This is what I like. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, so I think I've been thinking about this for a while. I think when it comes to like the functions, the best way to grapple with your like last function is to do the animals of the last function. So it's like sleep, blast, or like that is going to help me a little bit better with my NI. So just doing more sleep has made me feel better with NI and FI, because it's like how can you go out to how can you face the world and like say that this is what I believe, but I'm okay. Like I know that I'm okay if you are not looking down and like actually figuring out if you're okay or if you're going the right path. If you're never taking the time to check in with your inner world, then how are you going to stand on it? Which is my biggest issue was. And it's like through the behavior of doing that more, and you do do feel much more calm, and like I do feel like I'm safer to do my own thing, and like I'm okay. Like I can be the authority of whether or not I'm okay or not. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're on the way. Is there like some specific things you're doing for that, or do you have like sleep
Mhm.
time set up or any like things you're doing to work on that, or how's that going?
Yeah, I try to do that, like, earlier on when I didn't really understand what sleep was. I think I was
Mhm.
just doing my blast because I was like, "Okay, today is the day I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna figure out my life. Like,
Mhm.
let's journal about it," you know? And it's like, I think I found that that's not the best way to do it 'cause with
Okay.
me, it's like my sleep is, like, attached to feelings, right? So it's like the best way to figure out what's down there is, like, when I feel bad, why do I feel bad? Or, like, when I feel sad or, like, angry, whatever, that's FI. Why do I feel those feelings? And when I feel anxious, that's my NI. So why do I feel anxious? And taking the time to actually stop whatever I'm doing and like not be so responsible for the blast play of things and like actually looking within or whatever, staring at a wall, listening to a sad playlist and trying to think about it and get into a mode of like inattention. Um, that's what helps me. Yeah. I don't know that it's helping me, like, in the moment, only afterwards where I'm, like, a little bit more zen, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like FI sleep would be, maybe this is because I'm a thinker, but it seems like that would be so much more difficult. Like, how do you like process feelings inwardly and like really tell how you feel about stuff? On the
Mhm,
inside, I feel like that's so much more difficult than just saying like if you're TIing with TI sleep, right? Like
mhm.
A is equal to C, therefore D, and then you're just doing logical steps, like you know
Yeah,
what I mean, which like isn't necessarily is maybe not the most straightforward, but there's some straightforwardness to it, right? At least
mhm.
there's some kind of linearness to it, right? But like with FI, it's like I wouldn't even know where to start if I had FI and I needed to sleep on something. Do you just like you just close your eyes? Okay, what am I feeling?
No,
Okay, I
it's
don't feel anything. What do I
you're
do?
al
Yeah.
you're always kind of like you always have feelings, right? So it's like
Okay.
it's like tapping into why it's disturbing you. You're like, "Oh my gosh, so first off, what am I feeling? I'm feeling like shit. When did I
Okay.
start feeling like shit? Okay, I started feeling like shit in that conversation. What did
Okay.
that person say to me that what like is it because they said that to me that I feel like shit or is it because it triggered some memory in the past? Like what is this some shadow shit that I'm dealing with? Like
Mhm.
why like basically like kind of deconstructing your feelings. Like why do I feel the way that I feel? And then and that usually leads you down this like you're like I don't know maybe like the whole idea of like limiting beliefs or like I guess I think that's like NI whatever limiting
Mhm.
beliefs and I kind of language and then like self-worth is FI like combine those things and I think that's sleep it's like okay
Mhm.
like I felt this way because when this happened do I like because one thing I used to do, and Dave and Shan always talk about in the classes, is that the thinkers, especially the TEs, it's like we'll feel bad, and then we'll think that we actually are just bad. That's why we're feeling bad. Like you feel bad because you fucked up, and you're a fucked up individual. And it's
Oh,
usually,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
mhm,
I remember him saying that. Yeah, you feel bad, like therefore you are bad.
yeah,
I've heard that, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's completely different
yeah,
than I think what TI is doing. Um, yeah,
hmm
wow, okay, yeah, that's God, it sounds so
we can
horrible.
touch upon
I'm glad I don't have FI sleep, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So, like, is it tied to the future as well? Like when you're doing the sleep stuff, are you like also looking at okay, where do I want to be in the future, and how does that make me feel, or what do my feelings tell me I should be in the future, or how do you know how that works?
Yeah, yeah. So for me, the first thing that I try to do, like the way that I can the way that my default is set up is that I just do TE. Like when I'm planning for the future, it's like so it's like this would make sense to do in the future, and then using NI, and
Mhm.
then I will try to blast that right. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, the reason why I felt like I needed to skip out of all these different things is because I never wanted to do them. Like I never actually reached the FI of like oh, this does make sense, but I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. And I guess that's like having the balance of TEFI is like trying to do something that's logically sound and also wouldn't like destroy your life, you know? Whereas
Right.
just TE by itself is just like doing the practical thing or like, and also it makes you super like all over the place sometimes because it's like you're scanning society so much.
Mhm.
Like you don't even the things that you think are super practical, whatever. It might not be that. It's like you're just getting societal messaging, and so
Yeah.
doing the FI thing could actually even be better for you. So doing sleep
Oh,
is
okay.
like dealing with all of that. Yes, it's like I think this is
Okay.
practical, but maybe it's just my FI telling me that it's practical because my mom wanted that for me and my dad. You know, it's just yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a battle going on. It's kind of like, well, this is what I want to do, but like, yeah, but what's practical? And you're kind of like, yeah. So I guess like, what is the like the best balance is what to find out what you want to do and then find like a practical way to do it. Is that kind of the
I think the best is probably just feeling good about what you want to do in the future because it's like at least for me, I don't know if I can feel good if something doesn't make sense, you know, because
yeah.
because it's gonna make me feel anxious, right? So I can't just do. I'm like, I'm going to be a poet tomorrow. Like, I have to do
I think
something
that
that
would
makes
make anyone anxious though, because it's like, wow, I'm be a poet, but like, okay, I guess I'm gonna starve now, or like, how am I gonna make money doing this?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It has to make sense
yeah,
for me to be happy. And I think that's probably everyone with FI and TE. That's the whole balance. Is like you can't go too far in either of them, or you're gonna start feeling. Yeah, you can't go like I'm gonna go to med school tomorrow because I have the grades. Like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
You don't want to be a doctor. Like how are you gonna fucking deal with the pressure of med school and stuff? Yeah. Mm.
Can I ask? I feel like if this is too personal, it's fine. We'll skip it. But do you have like an FI future thing that you actually want to do and you've kind of settled on, or are you still processing that and figuring it out? Or
Yeah. So for me, like one thing that I've also learned is that like I think because I'm masculine and I kind of well, every time I make a plan, I want to do like a 30-year plan almost. Like, okay, I want to.
okay, that's hardcore, and you're not
It's
fucking around, then, yeah.
yeah, like it's or like I don't know, at least like a 10-year one where I'm like, okay, I want to do this because then I want to get married around this age and then have kids around this age, and then it would be nice. It's like I overdo it to the point where it's like impossible that any of this is gonna happen. So
Okay.
I guess yeah. So I guess now I've kind of calmed down on that a bit, like, and I'm like, okay, so the max that the planning you can do is like for 4 years. So now so now it's like, okay, so I'm in school for psychology, and I was like
Mhm.
halfway through, I was like, I don't know if I want to be a therapist. At least not to write. And I just stopped there because I have no sleep, right? It's just like I don't know if I want to be a therapist. What do I do now? Like I didn't do any sleep. But now I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to be a therapist right now. I think I want to work and make money, and that's
Mhm.
why I don't want to be a therapist is because I don't want to be in school for all of my 20s. um, and so I'm going to graduate in 2 years. And but before I graduate, I'm going to work full time in my family business. So I made that FI decision finally, FITE working together because I've been putting that off for a really long time. So I'll be like the head of marketing in my family business, and then after I graduate, I'll probably continue on with that, and then go like become a therapist like later in my 30s or something. I'll just put
Okay.
it off. I'm not gonna say no forever. I'm just gonna put it off. But yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
cool. You got a plan. You're going after it. I wonder, like, okay, like channel change.
Mhm.
How has OP kind of fit into your psychology stuff, or has it at all, or has it helped, or what's been the relationship there? Do you think?
Um, hmm. I like it. I don't know. I don't know how much it fits in. Um, I think it's really good for self-analysis because it's
Mhm.
like I guess maybe aside from psychology, it's like I'm always into like I guess I've been into Jungian psychology and like self-help in general and like productivity, that entire like space, whatever. And I think like what OP is really good at is that it kind of it like limits what you can consume and it limits like what is actually useful for you. So
Mhm.
you don't get so stuck. Like it's very good for coming up with results, you know, because like for me, um one way I completely fucked up is that like I kept on going to like other sleep last people for advice and like doing that. And it's just like, that's not good. That was
Yeah,
not good for me. You know,
yeah.
there's one time I read this. If there's this book called by Dale Carnegie, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best book ever. And it's like
Is it
how
how to
to
make friends and influence people, or which one?
no, the other one. I
Oh,
never read that one. The other one was like how to stop worrying and how to start living. And the
oh,
entire book,
I've never heard of that one. Okay.
that one's pretty good if
Is it?
you're like yeah, if you're like like a play demon or something. But
Okay.
it's like the whole idea is to stop thinking about what is happening and just start doing things. And
Mhm.
the less you can think about what is happening in your life and the more you can spend doing things in your
Oh,
life,
yeah. That's like the last thing you need, I think, right?
it's the last you need. So I freaking for like 4 or 5 years. I'm not
Yeah.
even exaggerating. I just did everything that could, like my entire. I'm like every time I felt worried, I'm like, you know what? The solution is to do more stuff. And so,
Like I feel so like envious of like people of your type. It's like because you guys are such you can do all this shit. I'm like, man, I can't do a quarter of all that. Like, how do you guys like? I know from your perspective, it doesn't sound so nice, but from all of us, like not sleep last, like, damn, man, if they just figured out what they wanted, they would just take over the world.
no,
I think.
that's
Like,
why it's such a frustrating life because it's like you have all this play, but then it's like such a wide like there's no funnel ever. So it's like you're just going everywhere all at once. And it's
okay.
like playing life on hard mode. Because it's not like we do have more energy than other people. It's just like fucking we're just better at being miserable without noticing because we don't have sleep.
Okay. Oh, okay. That
So it's like
sounds awful. Shit.
no, it's okay. But it's like you have to I don't know. I think we talk about the negatives of our types a lot, but
Mhm.
I think for anybody who's like sleep last or sleep demon who's like listening, I think something that's really nice is that like even though you're gonna feel like lazy and really scared and anxious if you do stop, because there's all you probably have all because you're double activated play, you probably have all this shit that you're supposed to be doing and you started and stuff. You're probably gonna feel really guilty taking time off. But if you do actually take the time to figure out who you are, what you want from life, like what you're actually thinking about what's happening around you, you know, like once you come out of that you have all those other animals so it's like your life is going to get a lot easier because you can
Mhm.
kind of funnel that into something that's actually going to work in life, you know, whereas before it's like I don't know, I felt like I succeeded in a lot of things but like just quit all of them because I hated them. I would realize way too late I'm like I fucking hate this, I'm going to go to something else. Yeah.
Gosh, so I can relate to that. There's so many things I went so overboard on, and then realized like, why the fuck am I even doing this? I don't even
I
like
know,
this.
it's so dumb.
I don't know, but at least like you learn, like by trying a bunch of stuff, at least you learn what you like, even if it's not the like the NI way, maybe not the most efficient way. At least you learn, and eventually you figure that you find the thing that you like.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, in theory, that's what should happen.
yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, I feel like I need to process that a bit. Maybe while I'm doing that, we could take a couple questions.
Mhm.
First one. We're drinking sake. No, this isn't our other podcast. What's the name of the other podcast? Prickles and
Prickles.
Goo. No, I think we're gonna do another one soon though, in like maybe a week or something. And we are gonna drink sake. Actually, we decided to keep the tradition for the
Nice.
last. I actually took the last episode down off of YouTube because like I don't know. After the Facebook thing, I feel like we were kind of. I didn't think we were that bad, but I couldn't remember, so I just took it off. But I think we were kind of hard on David and Shan for their videos. Wasn't
I
that
don't
bad? Okay.
know.
I was like worried. I was like, oh man, like were we being dicks? I don't know. So I did like it's on private now. Maybe I'll put it back up. But I'm like,
I didn't think it was too bad.
wasn't too bad. Okay. Well, I trust your judgment.
Hmm.
Okay. Maybe I'll reconsider that then. But yeah, anyway, yeah, we'll drink sake next time, Lynn. So yeah, please join us for the next one. And then Cosmic Death. I would call you by your real name, but I don't know if you want your real name to be released. But so we'll say Cosmic Death. Ikraam, do you think there might be any correlation between the nature of moving a lot and being the new kid a lot during childhood and being SCTE as opposed to being SCFI?
I thought about that. I don't know. I think Catherine also moved a lot. I don't know. Hmm. So the idea would be like I'd be more DE because I'm always the new kid, and um,
Yeah.
I don't think there was because even when I was younger, like even before, like I could see myself being DE when I was like 5 years old, if that makes sense. Like even in kindergarten before I moved out, moved around a lot. Um, and I feel like one thing I was really good at, which might like maybe like a consume lead wouldn't be as good at or whatever because of that introverted energy, is that I was pretty good at like at least trying to make friends, even though I was super awkward and like would get rejected a lot. I would always do like I would always make sure that I would try to make friends all the time. And I would do that kind of with like I don't know, like kind of being DI blind, if that makes sense, like jumping into things. I think you have to be. I think the way that play is DI blind is that you jump into things like before you like consider how you look or whatever. And so yeah, I see yeah. So I think I probably would have been the same if I stayed around. Um, yeah, maybe I would have a better grip on my yeah. Even that I disagree with because I think I had to develop my DI a little bit more because I had to be alone a lot of the time because sometimes I wasn't so successful at making friends.
Oh yeah, who was, man? I don't know. The people that made a lot of friends, like they were. I don't know. I feel like, well, this is going to sound super negative, but I feel like the people who were really good at making friends and were super popular in school, like now, you know what? Now they're not so popular. Now a lot of people aren't doing so well, which is a bit sad. But it's weird though. I feel like, yeah, I don't know if they just like. Was that fucked up to say? I don't know, but it feels like they peaked early somehow. Those friend makers. I was a complete weird, awkward dude that I had some friends, but man, it was like, God, that was so hard.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just everyone feels like that. Everyone feels like when they were in school, they couldn't make friends and they were the awkward one. Because I feel like I hear that story a lot. Um, but yeah, man, school is rough. I'm so glad that we're not. Are you glad we're not in school anymore? Like God, that's
Yes,
like
happy,
it's
so
better to
happy.
be. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
done with all that. Yeah. What was the worst? What was the worst school for you? Was it elementary school, high school, college, middle school?
I think it was. Oh my god, junior high was just so awkward. I guess it was kind of okay because I stayed in like I think I had only moved twice when it came to junior high, but elementary school was hard because I moved like multiple times a year.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, you were moving a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I think by the time I graduated high school, I like gone to 13 different schools.
13 different schools. Holy crap. Damn, that must have been like, was that like traumatic? Like, I feel like that would have been super hard.
Um, I don't know. I don't think so.
Maybe
I
harder for deciders, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I think it was because I was a skib. Maybe I had like it was. I think it was harder for my sister who was like super introverted, and she's like, "What the fuck's happening?" But I
Yeah.
think I was. I think I got like excited. I think actually no. I think one thing that I got fucked up by is that I never had to until I was in high school. I didn't have to like actually um be like FI with my friends, and so then that was like super. That was more hard when I got older because I'm like, oh my god, I'm talking about my feelings for the first time because I'm not moving next year. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like once you had real friends or like really close friends, then you could like kind of let out the feeling stuff because that's like the
You would have
just
friends like I had a friend who would poke me more, whereas before I'm
ah,
just don't
you had
poke
the
me.
FE friend
I
that was
did.
like
Totally. I think she's ISFJ or ESFJ. I can't tell, but
okay.
yeah, she was totally. I literally tried to ditch her like multiple times in high school. Like I would like see her in the halls. I'm like, oh, and she's like, hey, and I'm like, oh my god.
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing today?
I was like, I
Leave me
wasn't trying
alone.
to you. But it was so good. Like I told her like multiple times. I'm like, if you weren't my friend, I don't know what it would be like in adulthood. Because I had not told anyone anything about my feelings mhm, until she kept on badgering me about it. I'm like, okay, this is how I feel. God, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, you know, well, at least you had some. I don't even, if somebody would have asked me like what my feelings were in high school, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I feel hungry, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
man. But yeah, the FE,
Like TIFE people in that way because it's like with
yeah.
FI, it's like it's just kind of, it is a bit much sometimes because it's like, yeah, I have like a lot of feelings. It's super dark and like, oh my gosh, are you ready? Do you have enough time? Like, it's just so fucking cringy. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's the TI version of that. So yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you are exposing whatever your DI is, like you're like, okay, sit down, grab some popcorn. You're going to be there for a while. You're going to listen to the whole thing, right? You're not going to leave in the middle. Okay, good. Because you have to hear all of it. You have to hear it perfectly or you don't hear any of it. Do you feel like that when you do expose it, you got to like,
yeah,
there's like pressure to put it out there a certain way, right? Like,
yeah, there is. It's like, and also getting super offended if like you feel like the person's not being as attentive, you know, because I'm like,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
why the fuck did you even ask me about my feelings if you're like not gonna listen? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's dismissive and it's like, hey, I don't want to do this. And this is something I do for everyone, at least like listen, right?
Yeah, and it's because it's your DI, it feels like this is a real me, and it's like everyone else is like, I don't like that, or I don't know, maybe that's also in my head. That's another thing. It's like when you do it, you're like primed. I guess because it's a demon for me, it's like you're primed for bad, like feedback. You're like waiting for people to seem disinterested, or like waiting for people to like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're looking for it. So you might even see it when it's not there, I guess, right? Like that's the
Yeah, especially when I was younger, I think that was a thing.
okay. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you like so notoriously FEs and FIs have this kind of thing where like the FI side feels like they're probing a bit and it's a bit intrusive and it's a bit how do you feel like your relationship with FE people is now? Do you still feel like that annoys you or have you been able to reconcile that or
I think OP, that's the best thing about OP, I think, because it's like before OP, it's like you just think everyone is like you. So I guess I thought people with FE also had FI. So I'm like, yeah, you have FE and FI, and
like,
it's just
you
like,
should know not to ask this sort of thing?
yeah, you should know that this is like kind of, you know, private or whatever. Or like, um, not here. I'm like, that was a big thing for me. Not in this space, not in this way.
Yeah.
Remember my FE friend? She like we had a big slumber party, and then she got everyone in like a circle. And she's like, guys, let's talk about the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And I'm like, what?
It's like, whoa, what?
I'm like, what the fuck? And then of course everyone said what was bad for them. And I just sat here and I totally fucking lied. Cause I'm just like, there's no way I'm like exposing myself in front of all, because I'm like, I trust you. I don't know these people. And also, why are we doing this in a game? My feelings aren't a game. Like it's just so
I mean, I wouldn't even, yeah. I mean, like,
I guess it was
how do people just have answers for that? Like, that's a hard thing. The worst thing that's ever happened. That's like asking what like your favorite movie is or something. It's like, well, I like a lot of movies, but is there a number one favorite? I don't know. That's hard to
I
say.
guess when you're like 15, maybe. When you're like 15,
okay, just it's not that any bad things have happened by that point, so you can.
yeah, you're always thinking about like everything that you hate about your life.
Like yeah, so that's
now,
cool.
now it's not like that, I think, because it's like I see that like I see that FE is actually like that's actually care, and like I see the role that they play in society. It's like especially after my friend in high school, it's like if it wasn't for her probing, like I would never have talked about it. And I actually do like every single time I do talk about my feelings, I feel better. And I think the reason that I'm like not FE or like don't have FE on my stack is that I keep forgetting that. Like I keep forgetting that I'm gonna feel better if I share stuff. It always feels like if I just keep it private and just deal with it on my own, I'll process on my own. Like a lot of times, it's, especially being sleep last, it's so much better and easier to say it out loud. And I feel like the FE person like cares about me and it's like if I like them and they're kind to me and all that stuff, it's like so much better to do it with somebody else because it's like you get like not only do you get the weight of all the feelings off your chest, it's like you also get like some kind of healing salve. You know, you feel nice, warm, and cozy, and you feel like better about the universe after somebody like gives you some FE. And I guess the yeah, so I guess it's just like I never understood that that I wasn't being judged or something before.
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's like I have to do I think probably more than you have to do it. I guess with you being FI, but yeah, I have to actually talk about like how I feel with somebody, which totally sucks and I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
But like it feels a lot better afterwards, like completely, like it feels like the situation is a lot less dramatic or intense once you talk
Yeah.
about it with somebody. And it feels like, I don't know, it feels like when somebody responds well to it, you feel like you're almost not dealing with it by yourself. And you also feel like it's normal that you feel this way too. That's one thing I think as a thinker where you're like, is it logical to feel this way? Should I feel this way? It's like, I
Mhm.
feel like I'm being a baby or I feel like I'm being whatever. And it's like, then the person's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. This, I feel this way too in this situation. It's like, oh really? Okay. I didn't guess that. And now I feel
Yeah.
like I'm allowed to feel that way now that other normal humans feel this way in this, which is so
No.
stupid, but somehow like,
Oh, that's
I
sweet.
don't know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of does it.
Feel like a little bit different because it's I think I've matured out of the bad habit. When I was younger, I was like I hated when people were like, I know exactly how you feel. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm so special. My feelings are much worse. It's like whatever. But
Okay.
now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I feel part of humanity. It's true. This is a human experience. I'm just like everyone else. I love it. Like, because it feels so much more darker when it's inside and then it's out. And it's like, oh yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's like out in the light, and like nobody hissed and ran away when I showed it. Everyone's like, yeah, that's actually okay. That's fine. That's not really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess so. Yeah.
So okay, so that's cool. Yeah, it seems like OP has helped you with that aspect a lot. Like so how else do you think OP has helped you um along your OP journey?
Um, I guess it's helped me so much with self-development. I guess it's helped me a little bit understand the differences between I've like typed some of my family members. One person like super. I think I'm pretty much spot on there on with their type and stuff, and it helps to see um like how we view the world is like our life philosophies are made because of how we like our functions and whatever. Um, I mean, I know that's like not 100%, but it's definitely like a thing. Um,
Mhm.
and so I guess being DE, any other time that I'm dealing with somebody who also has like TE or whatever, like it's easy for me to feel wrong when the person has like more like I feel like authority on things or whatever. So
Okay.
somebody who's like a blast play archetype or whatever with TE, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I should just be like you, you know? And it's like, so I guess, sorry, I'm like playing it out, but like I guess what I'm trying to say is that um I've become more aware of my faults, but I've also become aware of like the things I am good at and like
Mhm.
how other people are not as good at those things. And so I'm not like I think my whole life I guess I tried to make myself be like save or blast or like blast first and like judge the
Yeah.
shit out of myself for consuming anything, you know? And it's like, oh, I think that actually, yeah, like I can see how that helps me with my identity. I can see how that helps me when I do get to blast that I've had all this consumed. So I guess it's like I see my faults and and my strengths, and I see other people's strengths and faults, and I feel like I have almost like a more spiritual view of humanity because I'm like, oh,
Yeah, totally.
good. Everyone should be the way they are. It's like we're all puzzle pieces or whatever. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can totally relate to that. I think I'm relating to everything, even though we're a different type. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like that's exactly how I feel too. Like that's interesting. Yeah, it feels like you don't even realize what your strengths are too until like, well, I mean, until I found OP. No, you can realize that anyway. But I didn't realize that other people like the ST thing was hard. I thought everyone that's easy. And then
Yeah.
like my blast stuff was just I just can't do that. But everyone else, it looks like most people can do that, and they can do the ST because obviously that's easy. But what's hard about that? And you
Yeah.
realize, oh wow, actually there's something that like I do that just feels easy and normal that actually people really struggle with. And then
Mhm.
what's like really hard with for me, there's also other ISTPs out there that have that same thing, and it's like
Yeah.
you get like a better feel for how different people really are and what people are struggling with too. And I think
Yeah.
as an IP, you tend to think, I don't know if you relate to this as well, but like IPs, you think everyone else has it together, everyone's doing great, everyone's fine, but you have all this inner turmoil, and somehow it's all just special to you. You're the one that has to deal with all this. Everyone else is doing great, like which is totally not the case. And I think learning this stuff you see that like everyone's not doing so great, which is sad, but at the same time, it's reality, and it's kind of, I don't know, you feel like you're not alone in that struggle that you have going on. Like everyone else has their own version of that, whether it's play last or sleep last or consume last or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is great. I don't know. I feel like that makes me feel more connected to other people somehow.
It does,
Yeah.
and it makes me like it makes you like see how people can help each other as well. Like I don't know, if I'm making a whole thing like hey, we can all TE together. If we all just work together, everything will be beautiful. It's just like it does feel that way because I'm like, oh, like I guess the person I was referencing earlier was like my mom, I'm like, oh, help me with my relationship with my mom because, she's this blast play person and she's also like, why aren't you blast play? And I'm like, oh, I can see how she's demon consume and how she abuses me every single day for her consume. I'm like, you would have a lot more issues in life if it wasn't for me, And it's just, I like that. Like, I like how we can all, I don't know, because it's just like, I used to look out into the world and I'm like, okay, some people are right and some people are wrong. And like the people I thought were right were literally just like more ST or like more NT and blast and play and whatever. The people I thought were wrong were like all the consumers. I'm like, it's like, no, freaking just relax. It's like, that's you projecting your like own, like, not acceptance of yourself, It's like I see the beauty of the world more. Just,
yeah, totally. I wonder like how it would like change society if like the type thing was more like normalized, like if like everyone was involved in this in some case. And so like the type thing, I feel like there'd be more empathy for other people because it's like you have that one friend that never calls you or never texts or whatever, but that friend's blast last. So you kind of like, okay,
yeah,
I get it. They're not an asshole. They literally just, all right, I know how that works. Obviously, I'm blast last too. So it's like, no, they don't hate me or anything, or they don't whatever. They're not too busy for me. They literally just, their brain doesn't tell them, it doesn't register that they need to contact people, and that sort of thing. So like, I wonder if it would change the world in that way. I wonder for work as well. Oh, that might be like a dark thing actually, because it's like we only hire ISTPs for this job, or we only hire ESFPs.
Sleep blast crack addicts.
Oh yeah, like all the sleep people will be like, we don't want you. You go work in town somewhere.
We don't want anyone saving energy for themselves.
Yeah, no, you give us all the energy. We're gonna squeeze every last drop out of you, and just hope that we don't fire you. That's how this job is gonna work. Yeah, be crazy.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if everyone was able to like. I think like my ideal scenario is if everyone had their own type, but then other people didn't know their types. Because like when other people knows like other people's types, I don't know. It's just like people get petty. I don't know if you've noticed in the like sometimes in the Facebook groups, whatever. But it's just like a little poke at your demons here, a little poke at your demons there, whatever. But I think it's
little insults. That's what a blast last would. So totally what a TR would say. It's like.
What else?
Hey, that's kind of below the belt, right? Like it's like okay. Like,
sleep blast of you,
Yeah, like listen, if you're gonna insult me, do it based on who I am, not what type you think I am, because that's not really. I mean, it's related to me. It's not really
I don't like it. I think that's another thing. Cause I'm like, you really think that everything is type, like, oh my god.
Or like if I'm giving like advice and it's kind of OE advice, people are like, well, yeah, you're OE. Of course, you're saying that. Like this, we can disregard this advice because it's just you talking about your saviors. Like, well, you do have to OE sometimes. So this advice isn't totally invalid just because it's coming from someone. So if someone else that with OI was saying the same advice, you would listen to it. But because it's coming from me,
so awkward.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really weird because it's like you're supposed to work on your demons, but I also think I don't know. Part of me is just like you're also always gonna just be your type. Like,
yeah,
I'm never gonna become an INTJ, guys. Like, I'll never. I'm not gonna be sleep, blast consumed tomorrow. I'm always going to kind of have the philosophy of a ESFP or whatever, because it's like, even with all of the like skipping I've done around, like all the skipping I did, and all the whatever energy I've expended. I'm like, if I didn't do that, I would still want to do that. And I would be like, I'd be anxious that I haven't done that enough. Like, I haven't skipped enough, So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think you're always going to be that type, which I think is a good thing. I think I'm totally okay with. I really like the ISTPs that like have like their NIFE together. I think they're great. The ones that don't, the ones that are completely, then I hate those people for some reason. But like the ones that are doing well, like what's the wrestler guy that's done more Make-A-Wish foundations than anyone like alive? John Cena, ISTP. He's done
oh,
more Make-A-Wish foundations than anyone. Like if that's not an ISTP that has his shit together, then I don't know what
that's
is.
so sweet.
Love that guy. He's great.
I
He's
love that.
I mean, he's a giant jacked pro wrestler. Brr, Cena time, whatever he says.
Yeah,
He's a teddy bear actually, like
he's
which
so
is great.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just like
think most ISTPs are teddy bears.
but yeah. That's like that's it's the final evolution of the ISTP. We just turn into teddy bears. I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
what would be the final evolution of SETE? Like, what's your final form as an SETE? Do you think?
Oh my God. Um, Monk on a Hill.
Ah, okay, yeah.
um, with like pumps and like red lipstick or something. I don't know.
The FI monk, super fashionable Buddhist temple,
Yes.
color coordinated, everything. A different robe every day.
One with
Based
it.
on the season.
And also check out my silk orange robe today. Sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's right. You came up with that quick. Yeah, that's a good. So like okay, that makes me think. What do you think about Goggins then? Because I feel like he gets like preached a lot about in OP, but I feel like the dude's full on SET, right? Or am I not reading that correctly? What do you
I
think?
think he like when I listen to his interviews, he feels kind of NF, like pretty NF. I guess it's like more SATE because he's in the military, but like he does sound like he's like preaching the whole Rocky thing of like, you gotta reach within. And he literally watched Rocky all like while he was training to be, which I thought was so like weird because Rocky would be his exact opposite type, like
Oh
double
yeah, technically he
FI.
would, right? Oh, I didn't put that together. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, he
And
would.
he watched Rocky, like that's what he watched over and over and over again when he was like 200 and like whatever. He lost like 100 pounds like 3 months, and that's he kept on watching that movie while he was on the bike. I just thought that was that's so weird and like I don't know, cool. But
Dude, Rocky is fucking inspirational. Like, especially the fourth one, even though it's not the highest rated. When he goes against the Russian, he has that crazy montage in the mountains of like Siberia and stuff. He's just in some shack working out, and there's like wolves outside and Russian agents, and he's running up the mountain. He's like gets to where he's like crawling up the mountain because he can't run anymore. He gets to the top and goes, Drago! And anyway, I got into my FI there, but I love that movie, and I used to watch it all the time as a kid too, and I would get pumped up before my karate tournaments and stuff.
yeah,
Like, fuck yeah, Rocky. I get it. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like David Goggins has a bunch of that energy, but
Okay.
he's just like though he's all in on Sleep Last, which I kind of feel bad about. I'm like, oh my god. It's like he
Yeah.
got his NIFI, like, but he's like full on like I'm gonna run until my bones literally crack open, like fucking
Yeah.
a yeah.
Doesn't seem like a good policy. Yeah, you kind of worry about that guy because it won't like you can't run 20 miles every day forever. You know, like
Yeah, I think he needs to rest and be Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is also my type
he's
twin.
SET. Oh,
That
Jackie
type.
Chan.
Yeah, me,
I would not
Goggins.
against that. Okay. I see the
Yeah.
resemblance a little bit though. Like if you visual type, I think I can kind of see it.
Yeah, he resembles you, sorry?
I'm just kidding.
I thought you were saying me. Oh no, you were. I can't get the joke. That's CST. I'm like, but yeah, no. I feel like I see a little bit of like I feel like I see a little like Jackie Chan and David Goggins. Like he'll like once he's like in an interview, he's super freaking skibby and all over the place, like me and Jackie Chan, I guess. But he like like when he laughs, it's pretty freaking hilarious. It's just like he'll be like man's gonna fight, and he goes like super like freaking skibby, like yeah, like but
he seems like a nice dude. He just seems like a happy, fun guy. I mean, I've only seen him act. I don't really see him. I don't know him, obviously, but he seems like a wonderful dude. I don't know.
He's
Always been a
like
Jack
more relaxed,
fan.
you know what I mean? He's like
He's
not.
what?
He seems super like more relaxed than like Goggins, you know?
Well, everyone does. I think everyone seems more relaxed
Exactly.
than fucking Goggins, man. We should.
Yeah.
Oh man. What about
That's why FI people are so different depending on what they like lock onto. Like I have another type twin. Her name's Michelle Anna, and she's like a YouTuber. She's also pretty chill. I can see how she's asleep last because she talks a lot, like myself. Like she talks like ooh, but she's like very like NF like vibey, and she's like it's all about like like she's very NF. She's like a Christian YouTuber and stuff. Yeah, and it's like depending on what you lock onto, you can be so different.
That's so true. I feel like out of all of the types, for me, the
Mhm.
ESFP has like, for me, the most different. Maybe just because there's a lot of ESFPs in the group. I don't know, but it seems like that's the most diverse one. I don't know any two ESFPs that I've met or seen on the group that really see all that similar. And I don't know why that type specifically, because I feel like I see a lot of ISFPs and INFPs that seem pretty similar, but like ESFPs for some reason just seem very, very different from one another.
There's so much SE to FI lock onto, you know? There's so much. I was talking about this with Catherine, but it's like, what does SF consume? Well, it's like stuff in the sensory that you like, right? So a lot of times people talk about makeup and stuff and yada yada yada. I didn't get into it until like my 20s. But before then, I was like locked onto like painting walls. It's just so fucking random. Just so, like different wall textures to paint on, and like then it was like, oh, I'm doing a deep dive on like the De Medici family in freaking Italy. And it's just like it's like you can look very nerdy. It just depends on what you like. You can look very different.
Yeah,
it's just something in the consume, like in the sensory, whatever, and it just depends on what's out there when you consume it. I think most ESFPs at some point they get into makeup because it's just like
just kind of natural, right?
Yeah, it's just it's like fucked up, but it's like it makes life easier if you learn how to do makeup if you're a woman. So it's like TE sense, and then you FI you like lock onto it, whatever.
That makes sense. It seems like it would be fun. Like obviously I've never done makeup, but like it seems like like it could be a form of art in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's like relaxing.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that from who have I heard that? Other SEs, I think, have said that, where it's like, oh, I think Savannah said that actually. For her, it's relaxing to put on makeup, which is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people just put it on like in the middle of the night and then just like take it right off because it's just. I think it's literally like coloring. Like
yeah, I can see how it's kind of like a flow state when you're just sitting there, like just you have to really pay attention and you can't like think about your thoughts or other shit that's going on, and you're just like, right? You can't like be like fucking around when you're doing makeup, right? Because you have to be precise. Makes sense. Cool. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of growth stuff this episode. Anything else you'd like to talk about? Or anything you'd like to add? You have a channel, Skib and Mope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all aren't aware, Skib and Mope is a channel that Ikraam and Danielle both do, where they interview people and talk about cool shit. And there should be a link in the description on this video already if you want to click that and go there. But yeah, sorry, I like asked you if you had anything to add, and then I talked about your channel. So anything you'd like to add?
No, you brought the channel. I've already filmed like a few videos about like typing Disney characters. So I'm actually gonna edit them. So the first episode should be out on Tuesday. Of the
Disney characters. Ones, Can you reveal the first Disney character, or do you want it to be a surprise?
So the first episode is about Hercules, and like we type.
Okay, cool. All right. Cool. I will definitely be watching that. That sounds interesting. Yeah, that's like an untapped market a little bit, I think. It's like, hey, let's actually type like fictional characters. Maybe I'll do like a 5 top ISTP badasses in fiction video or something. That might be cool.
Yeah. I think we typed an ISTP in one of the videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to guess which one that is.
I'll tell you after we close the stream.
Okay.
Hiding information, guys. No.
Great. Oh, let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't think we had ton things.
Oh, can I check? Oh, I think the comments too. Oops, sorry. I wasn't looking.
Oh, let me just say so. Hi. Oh, I'm gonna mispronounce your name. It's Sheree.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, right. Okay. It's like I wanted to say Sheree. I was like, wait, no, that was not it. I was like, okay. Hi, Sheree. Oh, Prem, what up, Prem? How are you, my man? Good to see you.
Hey, Prem.
I'm curious. We got a question. I'm curious about how you guys experience. This is a very broad question. I don't know. This might be tough to answer.
Here.
Okay. For me, lame. If I could put it in one word, lame. Like, do I really have to think about the future? Like, yeah. Let's see.
Aw.
What up, Nick? How are you, my man?
Hey, Nick.
I feel like I'm gonna feel bad if I miss any people saying hi. I said hi to Melanie, I think already.
Hi, Leon.
And Sadet. Hey, Sadet. It's been a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's like doing what is expected of you.
Yeah. Hi, Dixie. I don't know you, but wait, is that?
Oh, I think I know you from.
Is that Nikki? No.
No. I think I know you from the Enneagram group.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know you, Mr. Dog, but okay, I think we got everyone. Watch, just like one person that ain't gonna call out and they're gonna feel horrible.
Lynn. No. Hi, Lynn.
We said we said hi. Lynn had the song.
Cool.
Okay, we got all our calls. All right, thanks so much, guys, for listening. It's great having you. And yeah, I guess that's it for the show. So yeah, like and subscribe if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, no hard feelings. And see you guys next time. Bye.